The news that we've seen this month in crypto has basically confirmed to me that we have another bull run that is going to come back. BlackRock, Fidelity, all of these big funds applying for ETFs is the most bullish thing that I've seen since 2020 in crypto. And I guarantee that 90% of you watching this video are not prepared for the bull run. You probably have never even experienced the bull run. If you've never experienced the bull run, how are you going to be able to prepare for what is to come? The only way you can prepare is to listen to people who've been there before you. I've been in crypto for 5 years and know what a bull run looks like. I know how to be prepared. I know how to avoid that 80% decline that you're going to see inevitably at the end of the bull run so that you can keep your profits. Now, in this video, I'm going to be exploring some of the 6 most important lessons that I've learned that you need to internalize in your brain so that you will be ready for the next bull run that is inevitably going to be coming in the next few months. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Hey guys, how are we? Let's get straight into today's video. You must know what I'm about to tell you before the next bull run starts, okay? There is 6 lessons that I'm going to cover in this video that you need to internalize in your brain to be able to successfully navigate this bull run, okay? I had a little bit of an intro already, so we'll just get straight into what are the 6 lessons. So lesson number 1 is the most important lesson that you need to internalize, okay? The bear market has programmed you for the wrong market. So we've been in a bear market or a pretty shit market for the past 16 months or so, right? And this 16 months has taught you a lot of lessons, but the problem is you're learning these lessons and internalizing them at the wrong time, right? What has the bear market taught you? The bear market has taught you, it's telling you don't hodl, take profits early, sell half of your position on a 2x. Shorting is better than longing. You want to short the rallies. Don't go aggressive on buying. You don't want to buy dips, all this sort of stuff. This is what the bear market has taught you. And it's good that you learn lessons, it's good that you evolve, but the problem is you're learning these lessons at the wrong time. You're learning them when they're the least important to implement, right? At that very moment that you finally learn that you need to, do the right thing. You need to do this, you need to do that. It is at that point that you need to do it the least, right? Because what we're about to enter is the beginning of a new bull run, as I just talked about. What are the important lessons that you learn in a bull run? Well, you learn to hodl. Don't take profits too early. The trend is your friend. You want to buy dips, you want to avoid shorting, and you want to go aggressive early, right? After the past 12 months, is that what you've felt is right? The past 12 months has gone past. You know what? I really feel like not taking profits early. No, the market has not programmed you for that. But think about it. If we're beginning a bull run, which of these 2, left or right, bear or bull, which of these lessons do you think you most need to internalize? You need to internalize the bull market lessons in the bear market. So you need to flip it on its fucking head, right? So right now, you want to not hodl. You're going to want to take profits early. I just want to make some quick money in crypto. When it goes up a little bit, I'm going to sell. I'm going to, not be buying too aggressively. Right now is when you need to be adding the leverage. If you were ever considering adding leverage, it is right now. Okay, don't start adding fucking leverage in 12 months from now when crypto's pumping and all your friends are getting into the market and aping it, okay? Now is when you want to do that sort of stuff. Not that I'm saying you should, not that I do. I don't use any leverage, but if you were ever going to consider it, now is the time you do it, okay? Because what you do in a bull market and a bear market, they're totally opposite. And you need to flip the script to be able to be successful in this bull run, okay? So yeah, you're going to have to be able to go against the programming that you've learned in order to be successful in the bull run, okay? Because we're right here. You've learned the lessons of this, but these lessons do not apply to this, right? You've learned how to navigate this, but that doesn't matter anymore. You're not going to experience this for another 3 years. These lessons will come in handy in 3 years from now, but you can completely disregard them for now, okay? Because you need to also remember that there's a 4-year cycle in crypto. And why do 4-year cycles occur? Well, 4-year cycles occur because there is a period of time where investors need to go through a period of memory decay, right? Like everyone talks about this 4-year cycle, right? Why do market cycles happen in 4 years? Why is it every 4 years is a Bitcoin bull run? The reason is that, like I just said, the investors need to go through a period of memory decay. Because if you know the lesson in your brain of don't hodl, that's a lesson that doesn't support bull runs, right? Don't hodl is people selling which is not good for a bull run. You need people to forget that. You need people to forget that they need to take profits. You need people to forget that we have bear markets. You need people to forget that it isn't a new paradigm and that is a top signal. How long does it take for people to go through memory decay globally? It takes about 2 to 4 years for that reset to occur. And right, that reset is not just the forgetting of selling at the top. That reset is of every single period that happens in the market, right? Because just like the top happens every 4 years, the bottom happens every 4 years. The excitement happens every 4 years. The anxiety, the fear, the panic. Each one of these phases that you go through as an investor, it is a 2 to 4 year period for you to forget what it felt like in that moment, for you to forget the lessons, right? And this same concept of taking the risk at the bottom is explored with this photo here. This is where people take the most risk because they've forgotten 2 to 4 years ago of what it felt like to be in a bear market. You're going to forget when the bull market begins the lessons of the last bull run because it's been 2 to 4 years. And it keeps repeating. People keep making the same mistakes. They don't learn anything. They learn it and then they forget it, right? You learn these things at the wrong time. This is what I'm trying to say. So to summarize this point, you need to go against the programming of the bear market, okay, if you want to be profitable in the next bull run. Lesson number 2, you want to capture 6/8 of the trend. So this is a lesson that I learned from my favorite investing book. It's called Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. And actually, it was written exactly 100 years ago today. What it talks about is this line here. One of the most helpful things that anybody can learn is to give up trying to catch the last eighth or the first eighth, because these are the two most expensive eighths in the world. They've costed stock traders in aggregate enough millions or now billions of dollars to build a concrete highway across the continent, right? So you can see in this photo, you've got the last eighth at the top and you've got the first eighth at the bottom. Your job is not to catch the exact bottom. It's not to catch the exact top. Your goal is to get a low enough entry that it is a good long-term entry price and you've gotten in with majority of your capital that you want to get in with. And your goal is to then do nothing and then sell when it feels like you're in that final eighth. Like when we get to that euphoric period of the market, you need to look around you, all the idiots buy, all the big gurus, influencers selling you some crypto trading group at the top of the bull run, right? All your favorite Katy Perry. Katy Perry's a great signal. Katy Perry talking about some NFT that she's launching. All these sort of characteristics happen at that final eighth, right? And the goal is not to try to sell that exact top, because the exact top is the end of the bull market is the most parabolic part. It is the part where prices are most volatile. It's where you have the biggest range on a weekly period. Because it's so volatile and the range is so big, it's like basically impossible to sell the top because it's moving so much and it's so unpredictable, right? Especially when prices are in price discovery. When prices have never gone that high before and it's at an all-time high, that is where it is the most unpredictable, because there's no prior price levels that you can sort of base decisions off. It's just in no man's land. It's like, holy shit, we've never gone here before. Anything could happen, right? That's the problem with price discovery. So your goal is to analyze what's happening around you and basically ask yourself one question. Is this the final eighth of the bull run? And if it's the final eighth, you need to begin the profit-taking process, okay? And look, another thing you need to realize is that when you go to sell at the end of the next bull run, it's impossible that you sell the exact top. And what this means when you think about it is that when you sell, the price will go higher. There is going to be a period of time where you sell your positions and these positions go up higher than when you sold, meaning you could have made more money. You know, you have $1 million, you sell, you could have had $1.1 million. And you need to be able to look at this and go, that is totally fine. I don't have any issue with that, okay? And by the way, I'm sweating because I'm in Morocco and it's super hot here and there's no aircon. So if you're wondering. So yeah, the pursuit of buying exact bottoms and selling exact tops, it's a fool's game. A lot of you are going to try and do it. It's a beginner investor mistake. You think you can really time it so well that you're not going to feel the pain of missing profits. Don't worry about that. If you focus too hard on trying to be a perfectionist, you're going to be the furthest thing from perfection. You're going to be an unprofitable investor, okay? It'd be like you're on a date and you need the date to be perfect, right? You spend all this money perfectly getting the right roses, You make sure the chauffeur opens the door perfectly correctly. You make sure you hold her hand right in this right position. You spin her around and all your lines are perfect. You memorized everything. That date is going to go terrible. You're going to fuck the whole thing up because no girl wants that, right? It's the same thing. You just need to go to the date. Try your best. You don't worry too much about it being perfection. And that's how you get the best results in investing in life, okay? Don't try to be a perfectionist. And this is why it is so important to start with as much capital as possible, right? If you have $5,000, you're going to think in a perfectionist mindset. You're going to think, holy fuck, I need to get 100x, which means I need to sell the exact top. I need to buy the exact bottom. If I don't get a bottom entry, if I don't get a top exit, I'm not going to make enough gains to get to my financial goals, which means that you basically have to take a perfectionist mindset, right? It'd be like, imagine you only had one girl in your Instagram. You can't fuck this up, or you've got no girls, right? It's not going to work. If you had a number of people you were talking to, if you were meeting people on a regular basis, it's not an issue. You just go with the flow. If you had $100,000 you're investing with, or $50,000, the strategy you're going to implement is going to make you more money, and it's going to have a higher chance of making you money because you don't have to take as much risk. You don't have to be as risky with your investing, right? So this is why you should try to get as much capital as possible. This is why I talk about cash flow, building businesses, increasing your income. The more money you can invest with, the less total return you need, and the more likely you actually make a bunch of money and get rich, okay? Lesson number 3. So in the bull run, prices are going to be rallying. It's going to be going up heaps. You're going to make all this money. You're going to think that prices can never crash. You're going to ask yourself, like, I can't see another 80% decline coming. Like, I just don't see it. I don't see it going down. And this is not true. Like, this mindset of like, oh, prices can never crash again it's not true. When you start thinking that, it's actually time for you to start taking profit, because every 6 to 12 months, because crypto is the Wild West, something goes wrong. Shit starts breaking, exchanges go down, China bans crypto for the 1,000th time, SEC regulations, Fed monetary policy, whales dumping, code malfunctioning. There's like a billion things that go wrong in crypto all the time. So whenever you're sitting on huge profit, don't be afraid to take profit, okay? Because there is always going to be another crash. There's always going to be a 30 to 60% decline in a bull run. There's always going to be a bear market. There's always going to be another time to enter. Don't be afraid to take those profits if you feel like the market's euphoric, because there's always another crash, always another dip, always something that breaks. Okay, so and that's also a good way to view if you're looking to get into the market. If you're feeling FOMO, you don't have to buy. There's always another crash coming. Okay, you don't have to buy when it's pumping. Okay, you can just wait for another crash. All right, number 4. Oh no. Yeah, if you don't take profits when you're euphoric, you're going to inevitably hold through one of these crashes as well. Like, you need to realize that if you don't sell when the market's really bullish, you're going to be holding through a crash. So if you're okay holding through that 50% decline from the current prices, whatever it is, then keep holding. But if that idea of a 50% crash after all this money you've made doesn't sound good to you, then you should consider taking profits, okay? Number 4, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You guys need to ask yourself these questions right now. This is really important. Do you have a system to know when to buy? Do you have a network to get access to the best money-making opportunities, right? Like, who do you talk to on a weekly basis who you can share alpha with? How are you finding alpha? How are you finding information that can make you money, right? Are you just going on Twitter, hoping that some crypto account will give you some free alpha, like you're a homeless man begging on the street for a $5 tip? Or are you doing things properly? You're trying to network. You're joining some sort of paid NFT group where you can get access to alpha. You're networking, talking to people, Do you have a system to know when to exit at the end of the next bull run? Have you mentally prepared for the emotional control that's going to be required? Like, are you going to be able to sell, lock in those profits, and be okay with the fact that it goes higher? Do you have a defined edge in crypto to profit? Like, these questions are really important because the bull run's coming back. It's inevitable. That's another lesson we're going to get into. Do you have a plan? Because if you do not have a plan, you are planning to fail. It's so important that you have this step figured out. Now, my system, what's my plan? I have my Hunter algos, which buys bottoms and sells tops. I have airdrops fully automated airdrop farming with hundreds of wallets for Layer 0 and ZK Sync and all the top airdrops. I've got pre-sales, getting access to the best pre-sales like Scroll, Layer 0, all that stuff, and free money opportunities. So basically different things that come up during the bull run to be able to make money for doing basically nothing, okay? Because you have to ask yourself, like, did a professional basketball player ever get to the big leagues on accident? Did a basketball player get into the NBA on accident? Like, oops, I just turned up and now I'm pro. No, it was never on accident. It was 100% intentional. They worked every day. They had a plan. They had a mentor. They had a coach. They had a strategy. They were with a team, all working together. Never happens on accident. So has a normie retail investor, under the same metaphor, the same analogy, has the same normie retail investor ever made and kept huge wealth in crypto on accident? Have you ever seen a guy who made millions of dollars, but he kept it and he just was an accident? Yeah, I just bought this coin and made 100x and I don't know what I did. I just sort of got lucky and I've kept all the money. You know, I just kept growing it. That's not realistic. You know, imagine yourself right now getting to $1 million. Can you sit there and imagine that future and say, yep, that $1 million, I made that intentionally. That wasn't an accident. I had a plan. I had a strategy. It was 100% going to happen. Can you say that? You probably can't. If you made $1 million in a year from now and you look at back at how you did it, most of you guys, it was fucking gambling. It was a total fucking accident. It would be a fluke of luck. Like, you just got blessed with money. And if that's what happens to you, you can't keep it. The money will disappear. Because financial growth and personal growth, they have to stay aligned. And if they differ, they will eventually converge back. So if you are a moron and you don't do anything and you're a fucking gambler and you make a bunch of money and your personal growth is here, you're still some moron normie and your wealth's up here, it's going to fall back down and it's going to come to where you are. So you have to make sure when you make this money, did you personally grow as a person to be able to be someone who can keep it? Super important when this bull run comes around. Number 5, the best coins are not out yet. Look at your portfolio. I've talked about this many times. Most of your coins are old. They're old, saggy like a grandma, and they're not going to pump. Okay? The coin that I made the most money on was not even launched till March 2020. I've been in crypto since 2017. I waited 2.5 years for my best performing coin. 2 years after the bull run had started. Sorry, not 2 years. 1 year after the bull run had started in 2019, from the bottom at 3K for Bitcoin. If I had just bought coins in 2019, I would have made less money. So right now, the bull run is sort of begun, I guess, you could say. The best coins haven't even come out yet. Layer 0, Meme, by Memeland, Scroll, Eigenlayer. A lot of these coins that haven't even come out yet are the best performers for the next bull run. Even something like Arbitrum, probably going to be a great performer, and it only just recently came out. So don't get stuck bag holding old coins when the best ones that are going to make you the most money haven't even launched. This is a list of some coins that I recommend looking into. None of these have a token yet. They will within the next probably 6 to 12 months. Okay, now lesson number 6, bull runs always return. This bear market has probably given you guys the belief that bull runs are a thing of the past and that there's not going to be another bull run that comes back, right? You're sort of doubting, you're trying to imagine another parabolic bull run. You're trying to imagine making money and you sort of can't see it. You're like, I don't think so. I can't see it happening. Maybe like a tiny bull run. But that's just a symptom of memory decay. That is an inevitable part of the market cycle, right? Let's go back to what we talked about before. I hope the keyboard's not too loud. Memory decay. I think it was over here somewhere. Anyways, you can see here at the bottom, it always feels hopeless. You've forgotten what the bull run felt like. And the bull run always returns because humans have fear ingrained in us and we have greed ingrained in us, okay? And markets are a constant fluctuation from a peak fear to a peak greed. And it always happens. And until the basic wiring of humans changes, this is always going to occur. So in 1 to 3 years from now, whatever the time period is, when everything's going parabolic, Everyone's euphoric, and we're in a new paradigm. Remember that just like now, it's a repeating cycle. At that peak, it is also a repeating cycle, and it's inevitable because humans always go through the same emotional cycle every time, just like I showed you over here. Same emotional cycle every time, okay? Your next task, if you haven't already, is to watch my previous YouTube video. It was a almost 90-minute masterclass on everything that you need to know about crypto. I basically tell you everything that you need to become a millionaire in the bull run. I cover all the strategies I'm following, all the mindset hacks and tips and tricks that you need to know, and why I believe another bull run is coming back and what it's going to look like and what you need to focus on to make money. So make sure if you haven't watched it, you go and watch it now. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.